Hello and welcome to another Demis Helen tutorial. Today we're going to take a look at Xfer OTT, a free compressor. I've used this in many tracks before, but I'm wanting to create something a bit unique, something where it sounds over-processed, but sounds really crispy and sparkly, and I'm just generally going for that over-processed feel. So how it works is you have the depth time gain in and out at the top. So the depth is basically your mix knob. The time is like how fast the compression is working. And then obviously your gain in and out as is explained. Your in volume, your out volume. And then you have these three bars split into high, mid and low, and that's basically your EQ. And you have these sliders in the middle which kind of balance out the in decibels like the sound. So like you can have it really over the top tinny, or you can have it really over the top bassy, really good for over processing bass lines and stuff. And then you've got your upwards and downwards compression. So your upwards and your downwards are just basically opposites. So your downwards compression is standard compression, where it just compresses down, but upwards is compressing it up. So a compressor does like squash the top down, which reveals the lower sounds at the bottom to balance it out better, but you can overcompensate each way independently with this. So let's have a listen to what we've got now. We don't want to open up the strip, do we? So this is what we had before. And I think there's already distortion. This is from Orbit. It was the Plume pack. So if you haven't seen that video, check out the Plume pack review. It's based on the Flume sounds here. So there's loads of different things going on there. I'm just going to check. Yeah, we've got distortion on. So we're not clipping. The distortion you're hearing is purely from the sound. Okay, and then this is what this sounds like on its default settings. So it's become a little bit nasally, but we've got plenty of things to tame this down. So what we want to do is focus on the highs. So I'm just going to remove the lows. And I'm going to focus on that top end. Just reduce the mids a little bit. And then we have upwards compression and downwards. So let's have a look at downwards. And then upwards. So you can hear the sparklies coming through. And what we're going to do is turn off for now the distortion. Okay. And then we're just going to adjust the time here. Giving it a little bit more bite. That's giving it more of a slower attack, faster attack. Original sound full. So we'll mix in a little bit of the original. So we'll have it compressed a bit there. Right, now we're going to mix in context. So that is just overkilled and over-destroyed with compression. So before we had this, and now we have this. Let's take a listen. Okay, so it's sounding good. It's what I'm looking for. Everything else is really subdued. And then after this section, I'm on my way to you. Okay, it's sounding good. And just a quick note, if you haven't already seen the video on mixing vocals for this track, take a look at the video that's on screen now, and you can get access to understanding how I've mixed the vocals for this track and how I've put them in place. All right, so the sound is there, and we've used OTT to over the top process it, is basically what it's called. We're going to put some towel reverb on here. Alright, so stereo on, we're going to drop the lows, and they're going to operate from around there, that's fine. So that is using OTT there on a sound that is like it's just a synth changing its LFO rate. I'm just going to bounce out the out gain to -3. Okay, so that is sounding pretty good. I'm going to leave it at that for now. I'm going to sit on it and come back to it and see if that is something that I wanted to do. Let's use OTT on the bass. So let's just quickly rename this bass massive. It's not from Massive, it's from Synth 1, but it's got a big sound. Now, can we use OTT to make this sound even bigger? Okay, so now we get this massive sound. It sounds like chunky, but it sounds really thin at the same time and nasally. So let's take some of that mid detail out. Keep a few of the highs in there so you can hear the click. Really beef that bass up. So let's put Pro Q after it so we can see what is happening to the sound. So OTT first and then Pro Q3. Let's put them this way around and you can see the chain. So OTT first, then this. Let's turn this off. So there's a lot of detail in this lower end here, which we're never going to use anyway, but it's beefed up this whole area. So let's have a look. Yeah, it's really boosted this section here and probably this like clicky section, and we've reduced the mids. As you can see, there's a lot of mid detail in there, and then here we have no mid detail or reduced mid detail, and we also have clipping. So the out gain we're just going to put down to 3.2. Okay, so we've got obvious clicking sounds, which is what I'm going for. Let's just reduce that bass there. If you've got headphones on, you can hear a lot of rumble there, and you really don't want things to start getting clogged. Kick drum, we're not going to worry about that in this one, but there's plenty of kick and bass tutorials that I've done. There's one on screen right now for you. And let's have a listen to that now with the rest of the stuff. So let's see if we've overdone it too much. And before. So it's sunk away into the track. It's not sounding too great. So let's mix it in context. Let's put the original. A little bit of original. I'm going to bring a bit of them mids back in just to give it some presence. But it's really boosted on the bass. So it sounds almost like the original. With a little bit more top click and a lot more weight on the bottom. Let's listen to this without. So it's just a sound that it sounds good, it's paced with the track. Then this is making the track, and that's the difference. Okay, so I've shown you two examples of OTT and how it can be used. We've used it to boost the highs and give it a little bit more mid presence and over compress it, and it sounds pretty good. Depending on what you're trying to go for, don't go crazy with it. You can just have it on a smidge. And we've used it on a bass to really just beef the hell out of it and make it sound huge. And then we can start working on mixing the kick and the bass better. And yeah, and then the rest of the track comes along, and I need the vocals to go in here, so hopefully by the time this video is out we'll have already had a decision whether I'm getting a rapper to fill these verses or I'm going to find a vocalist. So, thank you very much for watching. Leave me a comment down below if you enjoyed the video on the OTT plugin from Xfer Records, which is absolutely free. And also hit the like button and subscribe and the bell icon. I upload twice a week and there is plenty of great content coming and plenty of great content to view if you are new here as well. So thank you very much for watching. See you next time.